NBA and ABA combined, Moses Malone pulled down 7,382 offensive rebounds. Not only is that the most all-time, but that was 2,566 more than the player that had the second most ever, which was Artis Gilmore. If you count just NBA numbers, Robert Parrish had the second most offensive rebounds, and still 2,133 fewer than Malone. Moses was just incredibly relentless in his pursuit of missed shots. He just had a knack for tracking the ball off the rim or the glass, to go along with being extremely physical, which helped him carve out space for offensive rebounds. Sometimes it even looked like he would strategically miss shots on purpose, which would allow him to take shots even closer to the basket after moving in for the offensive rebound. He once said in a 1979 interview that he would study his teammates' shots to assess where the ball may ricochet to following a miss. So often, he would come down with the offensive board and then get fouled on his way up, which is a big reason why he led the NBA in free throw attempts 5 times in his career. His free throw shooting improved a lot as his career moved forward, going from shooting under 70% from the stripe his first NBA year in 1976-77 to shooting over 80% in both the 84-85 and 86-87 seasons. NBA and ABA combined, he's second all-time in free throw attempts behind Karl Malone, and just NBA, he's 5th all-time. On the defensive side, sometimes he would snag rebounds with just one hand. He just had a great grip of the ball and was so incredibly strong, which made it difficult for opponents to wrestle or swipe the ball away from him. In NBA history, he's 9th all-time in total defensive rebounds. Moses had some good low post moves as well. He had a nice blend of power and finesse. He would often elude a crowd around the paint and sneak in for short shots. He also had a pretty good turnaround jumper. Interesting about his release in those instances is that he would sometimes take the shot on his way down, which would then cause the defender to mistime their block attempt. NBA and ABA combined, he has the 10th most points ever. Mainly because of his rebounding and his physicality, he was a good defensive player, making the all-defensive first team in 1983 and the all-defensive second team in 1979. The most interesting thing about him defensively is that he didn't foul much. He only fouled out 5 times in his career, and those all came in his first 2 NBA seasons. So from the last time he fouled out, which was on January 6, 1978, to the end of his career, he went 1,212 straight games without fouling out. Some key notes about Moses. He was selected in the 1976 ABA dispersal draft by Portland for trading purposes, since they already had a front line of Bill Walton, Maurice Lucas, and Lloyd Neal. The team they traded him to were the Buffalo Braves, but he would only play in 2 games for them because they also had a strong front line with Bob McAdoo and John Shumate, so he was traded again, this time to Houston for 2 first-round draft picks. Ultimately, he would become a 12-time NBA All-Star, a 3-time regular season MVP, the 1983 Finals MVP, and was named to the All-NBA First Team 4 times and the Second Team 4 times. NBA and ABA combined, he played for 9 different teams across 21 seasons. He made 2 NBA Finals appearances, once with Houston in 1981 and once with Philadelphia in 1983. He had one of the most dominant playoff runs in NBA history in that 83 year, averaging 26 points on 53.6% field goal shooting and 15.8 rebounds. The Sixers lost just 1 game that entire playoff run. The most points he scored in a game was 53, which came on February 2nd, 1982 against the San Diego Clippers. He also had 22 rebounds that game. While there have been 127 instances of a player putting up 50-plus points and 20-plus rebounds, with most of them by Wilt Chamberlain, it's only been done 4 times since Malone did it in that 1982 game. Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Webber, Anthony Davis, and Luka Doncic are the players that have done it since Malone. Moses also had a game with 37 rebounds, which came on February 9th, 1979 against the New Orleans Jazz. Nobody since then has had that many. So that'll wrap up this video. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe.